what we're doing today is we're going to talk about, do you class yourself as a filmmaker, as a discussion instead of like normal video where we have a script and talk about it. Richard's prepared some questions about when or do you class yourself as a filmmaker. So take it away.
Do you class yourself as a filmmaker?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. So, a while ago, we both spoke about the term videography.
Yes.
And how really it doesn't exist.
When I first started out, I did class myself as a videographer.
Yeah,
because
me too.
A videographer can film nice footage and put it together in a montage.
But a filmmaker creates a story.
Yeah, it's all about story. From a videographer to a filmmaker, when you can call yourself a filmmaker is when you can tell a concise story with whatever you've made. Whatever that video piece is, I think if you've told a story and something like if it educates people or it entertains people, whatever, I feel if you can do that, then you're a filmmaker.
But there's blurred lines between filmmaking and videography. Like an event video, it's a video, it's not really a film, but something like an atmospheric location thing can be a film.
Well, for example, like a wedding, you can have wedding films which look cinematic and they do tell a story of the day. That is a set story, you know, every wedding's generally the same, the order, but some of them look like a film. Some people are videographers in the wedding business, but some people it's filmmakers.
Some people have said that when they've shot on film, their film just looked an awful lot better. And I don't think it's because it was shot on film, but I think that because film is so difficult to shoot on, that you put a lot more care into the film that you're shooting.
Yes.
And you have to give it that TLC. If you treated that using digital, I think it would look 90% there.
So I think if you had a memory card, like a say 64 gig memory card, that's all you had, you would go, well, no, and you couldn't delete anything. It's exactly like shooting on film because, like you said, you've got to spend that time.
It's almost like the limitation drives the creativity.
Yes, and I prefer that because I don't shoot a lot. And when I'm doing stuff, I tend not to shoot a lot, especially when we're making films. So,
yeah.
You know, that's.
We don't really shoot for coverage anymore. We just shoot for the edit.
Yeah. If I get the opportunity, or even the opportunity to meet those people on film, I'd love to ask them, tell me why you think it is, and show me why.
Yeah.
And not just say you're not just a filmmaker until you've shot on film.
So I remember Griffin and Russell, the former Indie Mogul presenters. Griffin said he, as far as I'm aware, this is quite a while ago.
Yeah, no, I remember this,
He called himself a videographer up until when he made his Sriracha documentary. And Russell made a really good point that it's the first day he started at film school. The lecturer stood in front of everyone and went, right, congratulations, you're now all filmmakers. What do you think about that?
Obviously, Griffin, he classed himself when he made the Sriracha documentary. It's like, maybe yes, because, you know, that was, I don't know how long it was, but I know it was more of a feature documentary.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of time and effort went into telling this story about this hot sauce. Yes, that is a film, and you go, this is a film.
When did you first begin calling yourself a filmmaker?
It's when I decided to make the first bunch of films when I was outside of university. Because I made films in university and I was learning then. And, you know, when you're in university, you're in that environment and it's like, you know, the outside world doesn't really matter as much because you're just in your university environment doing your work.
Yeah.
But when you come out of it, you've got to make a big decision. Should you make a film? You know, go out and make one.
There's no task to do it. It's completely up to you.
There's no lesson on a Thursday. Okay, today you need to make this, and then on the Friday you do this, and on a Monday you've got to hand it in, whatever that is. There's no lectures. There's no teachers.
There's no marks.
There's no marks.
You're not getting graded.
It's just
making it because you want to.
I'm doing it. So it was probably then, and then obviously every film afterwards you're like, yeah, this is a film.
Yeah.
So. Well, I haven't asked you the question. Do you class yourself as a filmmaker?
Yes. Yes, I do.
That's good. Otherwise, why were you?
Yeah, otherwise I'll leave right now.
Yeah. When did you class yourself as a filmmaker?
See, this is difficult because when you're saying about it there, I started when I was really young, making stuff on a webcam, And I think when I was 10, I did class myself as a filmmaker. When I started uni, I did visual effects. So I think at that point, I didn't call myself a filmmaker anymore because I was only shooting footage for compositing and for green screening and keying. So I think at that point, I called myself a visual effects artist. But I was also studying animation as well. So I was calling myself an animator. And after uni, that's when I had a camera, I had some VFX and I had some animation experience. And I think that's why I called myself a videographer. It was after going to that film course in London. Yeah, I don't want to do visual effects or animation. I want to, like you say, like tell stories and make something that looks cool. Probably shooting corpse was when it was official. It was like, yeah, I'll do this for the rest of my life. I stopped calling myself a videographer because I just started to hate the term, because I was seeing videos of people just picking up a camera and just going out and shooting events. I was sitting in my room, you know, writing the 40th version of the corpse script and painstakingly getting stuff sorted and getting pre-production, and I was in the back garden with Jake making sure his boots look dirty and you know, organising everything and producing the film, and then going out and getting everyone to go out and shoot it, making sure that everyone was fed and in the rain.
You're not a videographer.
At that point I thought, you know what, I've sacrificed enough and I've been through hell. That's when you become a filmmaker. When it's not a one-day shoot, it's you get no sleep for months and you need to make something. It's not I'm going to do this because it's fun and that's it. It's when you're absolutely, completely obsessed with it. I think that's when you become a filmmaker.
Okay.
I think we've concluded this. A videographer runs video production. They go out and they do shoot films.
No, yes. I've seen people who class themselves. That's some of the work I've seen. It's just like, it's great. It's just that's what they class themselves.
But a filmmaker is obsession. A filmmaker is a need to tell the story you want, and it's sacrificing time and money and being a little bit miserable about it, but still doing it, because if you didn't, you wouldn't know what to do. I, at 3 or 4 points making corpse, pretty much gave up. And then when I calmed down, I was like, I kind of need to finish this.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you just make videos.
Yeah.
I suppose the term, do you class yourself as a filmmaker? It doesn't really matter, as long as you're telling good stories. In whichever format, just go and tell good stories.
Yeah.
So this was basically a waste of time.
Yeah.
Doing this conversation.
Right, should we go get some shawarma then?
Yeah.
Right.